Howdy everyone, this is John aka ScottyDrPepper. This is just going to be a quick overview of the Texas Hold'em Pokemon event that we're going to be doing as our off season for IDL, ICL, and PMU Gold. So basically what it is this is going to be a take on Texas Hold'em but in a Pokemon format. If you're not familiar with Texas Hold'em, basically what happens is every player is dealt two cards that only they can use, and then in the middle of the table there is a board of cards that everyone gets to use to make their hand. So you'd have your two cards plus then five cards in the middle, so seven cards total, and then you make the best hand you can with a limit of five cards. I hope that makes enough sense. So basically, what's going to happen for the Pokemon version of this is there's going to be four teams of four: House Infinity, Team Aspire, Pokemon Masters United, and Community. Four teams of four. So then each week they'll face off team versus team. What's going to happen is every person is going to be randomly dealt two Pokemon that only they can use that week. And then in the middle, there's going to be a board of 10 randomized Pokemon that everyone can use that week in that matchup. So let's just go ahead and do a quick example of what's going to happen, and then I'll get into some more technical rules as we talk about it. Alright, so let's just go ahead and look at a quick example. These aren't the real players. So we have Team A, Team B, Team C, and Team D just for this example. And what's going to happen is I'm going to generate some random Pokemon. So we're going to start up here with Alex in Team A, and we're going to generate one Pokemon. So Thundurus. And then we're just going to pretty much generate all through. We're just going to keep generating Pokemon, and that's just going to be the deal for this week. So we can see that Gen 7 Pokemon are included. I have Ubers clicked off, but it will count some things that are clearly, lucky Jeremy, some things that are clearly Uber, like I saw Mega Latios earlier when I was doing it, but if that happens, we're just gonna skip over. All right, so I'm just filling it out because I want to make sure there's no confusion. And this is gonna be single battles on Showdown. So since we already have Celesteela, but it's not in C and D, then we're gonna go ahead and let it repeat. So the Pokemon in Team A versus Team B will not affect the Pokemon in Team C versus Team D. They just can't be repeated within themselves. So we see Frostlass again too. Where was Frostlass? Frostlass was in B, so we can do Frostlass here, and that's cool. All right. So what happens in Texas Hold'em is there's 4 rounds of betting. There's after the pockets are dealt the two Pokemon or the two cards. There's a round of betting, and then the initial flop on the board. There's a round of betting, and then at the turn there's betting, and then at the river those are the final bets. So what's going to happen in the Pokemon version is teams will start with 50 points each, and they'll be able to make bets based on how well they think they're going to do in the combined differentials for that week. So like if Team A, if Alex, Brandon, Dylan, and Fred, if they think, hey, we're going to do really well this week, we want to bet high. We want to bet like our differential is going to be an 8 just combined. We're going to win all of our matches by at least 2 each. We're going to bet 8. If they win by 8 or more, they're going to get that bet added to their score. If they lose, let's say they only get 7. Let's say they win all their matches, they get 2, 2, 2, 1. They've only met 7. So what's going to happen is they're going to fail their bet, and it's going to be deducted from their score. So it'd be a -1 that week because they've gained 7 points for their differential, but then they would have lost 8 points for their bet. So right now, Team A, B, and Team C versus D, they could make their bets after the pockets. So these would be the pockets right here. And then after that, we're going to do a flop of 6 for each. So we're just going to go ahead and go do that. Generate 6. So the flop is going to be Jellicent. Alright, so at this point, the teams can make their bets, or they can place bets for the first time. Whatever, they can place bets here. Alright, and then it's going to go to the turn, which is only 3 Pokemon. Alright, so Heatmore is in someone's pocket, so we're going to go ahead and skip it and generate one more Pokemon for it. So instead, it's going to be a Linoon. Alright, and then finally the river is going to be one Pokemon, so we're going to generate, and it's going to be Sandslash. So that means Alex can make his team with Thundurus, Delibird, and any of these 10 Pokemon. Brandon can make his team with Heatran, Druddigon, and any of these 10 Pokemon. Hank can make Frostlass, Swallow, any of these 10 Pokemon. Kyle cannot use these 10 Pokemon up here. He is not part of Team A or B. We have to generate their teams for their flop. Celesteela was already grabbed. Where was Weezing? Where was Weezing? I know Weezing was... Oh, it was in the other flop, so that's fine. So we're going to have to generate one more Pokemon for Frau. Alright, so then they can... Team C and D, they could make their second round of betting. And then we're going to do the turn. And they can make more bets. So, okay, so... The betting process. Any team can make a bet, and their opponent can either their opposing team can either accept the bet or fold. If they accept the bet, they have to either match it, or they have to go all in if they can't match it. If a team goes all in, they can only win the amount that they put in, but the opponent who's making the larger bet can put in as much as they want. They still get deducted that higher amount, but the team that's all in can only lose or gain as much as they've put in. If a team folds, then they cannot place bets for themselves that week, and the opponent can pretty much just bet against themselves against the house. They can put in as much as they want. If they win the bet, they get the bet added. If they lose, they still get subtracted. So if House Infinity won 6-3, -2, and 0, that means that they would have a 7 differential, because it'd be 6 plus 3 is 9, minus 2 is 7, plus 0 is 0. So then they would meet their bet, so they would get 12. I think I have it right here. So score change would be plus 12, and let's say they already had their 50, so they go up to 62. You can see where I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just going to be who was assigned that number by their captain that week. And so that just means the matchup is going to be dealt like that. Alright guys, thank you so much. If you have any questions, just let me know.